Hello and welcome to another weekly recap. We have had a lot of stuff go down this week, so we're just going to jump right in, talk about them all. We're going to start with the Overwatch League stuff, and there has been a lot to mold about. There's been a lot of things that have happened, and if you've been living under a rock, I'll break them all down for you. But we're going to start from least rage-inducing to most rage-inducing. So, let's start first. We had Custa part ways with the Paris Eternal. He didn't really have a great performance, but he cited here in this tweet, "I really liked being able to play in Paris. I had a good experience and made many unforgettable memories. I hope Paris will be full of good things and have a good time this season. Thank you for your support." They mutually parted ways. I believe Custa sort of said that he struggled being the only Korean player, other than JMac, the head coach, playing on a fully European team. So, good. It's cool that there's at least some kind of mutual agreement there. Less so can be said about what I'm going to talk about in a few minutes. But it was cool to see that happen. They went on to sign Dove. So I actually can't scroll down to this, but they signed Dove onto the Paris Eternal, who has been a good player. Honestly, Dove is someone who I played with in that experimental tournament that we went on to win. He's not a man of many words, but he's very mechanically talented. He's had a pretty good debut. He had some good Widowmaker moments. His Tracer looked a little bit better. And you can't ask for better from a debut weekend, honestly, especially joining a struggling team. So, love me some Dub. Love me some Wub. Paris Eternal is going to be a good team. So, moving on. New York Excelsior. We go into the realm of confusion with the New York Excelsior as they are happy to announce that they have signed a third flex support player. Okay. I can't tell you why they signed a third flex support player. I can't tell you why they signed a player who doesn't come of age for another month. Avast had an interesting take on Platchat of it's going to take him a month to get a visa anyway, so why not just get him in early? He'll be all grown up by the time he gets into the States. Maybe. I'm not really sure how that works. It seems like New York Excelsior has a lot of flexibility issues. The reason a lot of people are upset is why do they need to sign a third flex support? They have Myeonbong, they have Gangnam Jin. Wouldn't they be better? Like, let's say they don't like how Myeonbong has been performing. Why not sign a main support player and move Gangnam Jin to flex support? Why sign HO1? And I don't honestly know much about HO1, how good he is as a player as well. So is he even going to be at the same caliber or better than Myeonbong or Gangnam Jin? We'll have to find out. But the flexibility of the tank and the DPS role remain infallible, except for the fact that they are a very bad team. So, questionable signing. There has to be more information coming out of why this person was signed. If this is just all it is, I don't know. I'm off the goop at this point. Why not sign Sanguinar? There is a lot of great main supports out there that could potentially fill this role. I can't tell you. Can't tell you. But now we move on to the Florida Mayhem. Florida Mayhem signed RuPaul. I believe that's how you say his name, RuPaul. Kind of like the drag queen. But this was great. You know, I don't think anyone was too upset. Kriv decided to move to the coaching role for them. So this was the Mid-Season Madness update. They talked about Kriv moving to a coaching role so that Florida Mayhem can sign a third flex support, but is now only technically their second flex support. And we've already seen RuPaul play. Solid player on the Baptiste, allows them to play that double flex. It's been looking solid, so a good signing. The negative part of this Florida Mayhem update is they actually dropped Adam. And it's not too surprising. It sucks that it's so early on in the season that Adam is being dropped, especially seeing as he has to move across the world to be a part of this team. But with someone having so much success and it being unlikely that he's ever going to be dropped from the roster or not play, they decided to drop Adam, which is fine. You know, you can have your gripes about that, but to me, that's not a big deal. The big problem is that they didn't give you a thank you, Adam, Twitter post. They didn't give him a lot of love. Apparently, the way that he found out that he was going to be dropped from this team and have to move back to Australia is through a Discord call. He had a Discord call with apparently Albert, the GM, who came out to apologize for this. But yeah, he didn't even have a big meeting. And then he didn't even get his own post. He is at the footnote of this Mid-Season Madness update where they say thank you and that he is going to be heading off. So kind of fucked, seeing as this is, you know, these kids' livelihoods. This is their life. He moved across the world for this, only to be dropped and not even respected enough to be given a proper goodbye and like a respectful, thank you for coming this way. So Florida Mayhem in a lot of hot water for that. And this would be a big deal. And I think we would still be talking about how messed up this was if we didn't go over to the APAC region and notice everything is on fire. We're going to start with the Los Angeles Valiant. There has been things coming out in, rumors, and I've talked about these in the past, of the Valiant not really paying their players properly, not being truly transparent with why do they have 5 DPS players. There's rumors that some of their players aren't even being paid. Some of them are under minimum salary. And then we have this release from the Valiant, their Twitter. This is actually not the original post that they released by the Los Angeles Valiant announcing they're dropping Coldest and Puyal. So Puyal dropped as a coach, Coldest as a player now that they've signed Molly as a flex support for this roster. But the first time they dropped him, it was Coilest on this graphic. So they didn't even get his name right when they dropped him. But then on top of that, when they got the graphic wrong, instead of deleting the post and then uploading it with an updated graphic, they decided to originally just reply to their old original post and say Coldest asterisk. So they weren't even going to remake the graphic for this poor guy who just got dropped. They only did this after people complained and people got frustrated, and they decided that they were going to redo it, and that's how we have to this post. So that sounds bad for the Valiant, but don't worry. It gets worse. We have Marvel getting signed for the Los Angeles Valiant. Wow, that sounds great. Marvel played for the Seoul Dynasty. He was a good asset for them. That must be good for this team. Rumors are, and I can't really speak to this in terms of a graphic or, a post, but there has been rumors that Marvel is being paid by the rest of their team. That the rest of the team is taking a pay cut so that they can afford a 30-day contract for Marvel. You can go as deep as you want with this. Some people are saying that a bunch of players aren't being paid and that they need the budget because they have no budget. Some people are saying that, some people are just barely even getting by, but they want to win, and that some people are just like sponsorship players almost in a way. But no matter how you look at it, no player should ever have to take a pay cut to sign a different player, especially in the middle of the season. If you're in contract negotiations before the season has begun and you're talking as a player and be like, hey, we want to pay you, let's say $100,000, but we want to put together the best roster possible. And for that, we need the most cap space. And, if we want to get all these other players, XYZ, you might have to take a little bit less salary. That's fine. That means that they can make the agreement to decide to sign with the team or not, right? Or they can say, no, I want this full salary. I don't care about the other players on my team. That is within their right. What you cannot do, if this is true, is ask players to take less of their current salary to pay a different player. That's essentially taking money out of their pockets and putting it in another player. Even if this is what the players want, they are young kids who are probably being pressured in some way by No Heal, by management, by anything to pay for this player instead of like every other normal team and business should run. It should come out of the business's pocket to pay for players. It's just the way it is. It's a messed up situation. I say to you, please be careful about reading too many rumors of why and how this came to be. There's a lot of mistranslation coming out. We're getting a lot of information from Korea, from China, all these kind of things of translations. Be careful what you read and you take as fact and rumor, because we don't really know what's happening. But basically, this is a messed up scenario if it is true, and we hope that the Overwatch League is looking into it. Now we move on, because that was not the worst one. As much as you're like, wow, that's messed up. No, we get deeper. We move over to something news that came out just today. The Guangzhou Charge have decided to drop Eileen. And let me read you the tweet that the Guangzhou Charge posted, because it is important when we're discussing this. Guangzhou Charge has parted ways with Eileen. We have done so after careful consideration of relevant factors, including risks to our team from inappropriate personal conduct, as well as the future development of our team. That's not a friendly tweet. That is not a, oh, thank you, this player. We're going to part ways. That is not a, he doesn't fit in our roster anymore. That is an aggressive tweet that is pointing at the fact of Eileen messed up internally in some way and has then been dropped. It gets very spicy when you look at other situations. Eileen, I actually don't have the post up here yet. Actually, let me see if I can find it on Reddit. There is a post that Eileen is saying, that Eileen has said personally, and it has since been translated, that he is saying the reason he was dropped, and this is the response of him from Eileen, is he says, thank you to the fans. This has been translated, but it's not perfect, so take it with a grain of salt once again. But he says, he got told, in this, it says he got told that his contract is being terminated due to his high salary, and that his contract needs to be signed on the spot to cancel his contract. So we're getting multiple different sources. Eileen is saying he's getting dropped because his contract's too high. The org is saying he's getting dropped because of personal misconduct. There have been certain rumors coming out that potentially Eileen was doing some stuff internally that is, shouting, causing negative harm to Develop, who is his counterpart, who would be playing against. But there's no proof to these kind of things. So it's just a big he said, they said, she said kind of scenario of everyone's pointing fingers at each other, and we don't really have the true story. But moral of the story is it's messed up. There's something wrong with what is happening internally, and this should not be getting dealt with this way. Avast brought up a very good point on Plat Chat, talking about it's very messed up if the primary reason that the organization is dropping him with cause is if you terminate someone with cause, you do not have to pay out the 30-day contract of the player who's on your roster, especially with how high Eileen's salary might be, as he's been a mainstay player since 2019. He might have a high contract and they don't want to pay out that month's worth of salary. If that is the reason that they're citing personal misconduct when there is not much validity to it, that's messed up. But if Eileen is actually doing these personal misconduct things and some of the rumors that have come out are true, then what Eileen has done is messed up. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle of these two extremes, right? So we have to just be careful about what we're looking at. But moral of the story, what the fuck is everybody doing? Can we just be normal and have run business and the league for like just a second? And can we just calm down and just play Overwatch for a little bit and stop messing with people? And that's the situation with Eileen that came out today. I'm sure more information will follow over the coming days, as this seems to be gaining a lot of traction of frustration. Whew. Okay, we good? We can breathe. That is it for the weekly news of Overwatch League. I know it wasn't the nicest situations, but you guys should know what's going on. Let's talk about some positive things with Overwatch 2, because on Thursday we had the dev stream announcement talking about Overwatch 2. We got the announcement date of October 4th, which was announced before that, but we also got a good first look at Junkerqueen, what the plans are, all that kind of stuff. They sort of went into depth with a bunch of other things. So let's talk about Junkerqueen first. Her abilities have been announced and released. There's a video on this, but you can go watch that in your own time. Well, I just want to talk over her kit. She has a shotgun, kind of like Roadhog, kind of in a way. She has Jagged Blade, which is essentially a dagger that she can throw at people and pull back, and it applies a ton of bleeds. She has a shout that increases her health and nearby allies while also increasing movement speed. She can also hit people with a bleeding axe that'll do big damage and a bleed, assuming. Then Rampage, where she can charge forward, wound enemies, dealing damage over time and prevent them from being healed, kind of like Antibiotic Nade. And then her passive is Adrenaline Rush, heals from wound damage, heal her over time. Sorry, damage from wounds, heal her over time. So she's a very big brawly, rush into your face, do a ton of damage, apply bleeds, and then get healed by those bleeds. She's going to be in your face. That's how she's going to work. I don't really know where I stand on her right now in terms of, is she going to be good? How is she going to play? It all comes down to what her numbers end up being like and how she is able to deal with other heroes and how much sustainability she has. She doesn't have damage mitigation. She doesn't have any shields or anything like that. She just has speed, over health, and then the healing from doing damage. So if that healing is enough that when she's doing damage, she'll heal through the opposition damage. She does enough of it. then that's good, and that's the right balance. But she could definitely be overpowered at the beginning, where she does too much damage and too much healing that she becomes unkillable, or she could be on the other end of the spectrum where she doesn't do enough damage, her healing isn't sustainable enough, and she just falls over when people look at her. It'll be interesting. She has a pretty small model from what it looks like in game, so she might be difficult to shoot at, but only time will tell once we actually get her in the game. So that's all I really want to talk about with Junkerqueen. Next week, the Overwatch 2 will be coming out, the beta on June 28th. Quick PSA, if you guys want to be a part of the beta, I believe that if you were in the first beta, it will not guarantee you for the second beta. Can someone in chat confirm that for me? I'm pretty sure I've seen that fine print and that rumor going around. But there is a guaranteed way to get into the beta, so that is correct. Chat is confirming with me that if you were in the first beta, you are not in second beta. You can get guaranteed into this upcoming beta by buying the Founders Pack. Yeah, let's just open this and let's hope it doesn't absolutely... No, okay, well, that's my alternate email, so it's fine. Don't email me there. I'm not going to read it. You're just going to waste your time. I was hoping that would open Battle.net, but if you go to Battle.net and you go to the Overwatch category, there is a thing that you can buy, which is called the Watchpoint Founders Pack. And what that will allow you to do is it gives you the Battle Pass the first time when Overwatch actually comes out. You'll get the Battle Pass. You will get a bunch of unique skins. You will get a copy of Overwatch 1, I believe it is. And you will get guaranteed beta access for this upcoming beta. This beta is, I believe, confirmed to go until July 18th. So it will not go for a drastically long time. It's about a 3-week beta period. But if you're interested in wanting to play it, then you can get that. And it's $40, which I think for a lot of people, when you say $40, especially when in Overwatch, you know, buying a game terms, that feels like a lot. But considering the unique skins that you'll probably get, that you probably won't be able to get in the future anymore, these will probably be skins, like the way that the Overwatch model is probably going to go is that if you don't buy these skins, you'll probably never be able to get them. Exclusive skins are probably going to be more likely in Overwatch 2 than they were ever in Overwatch 1. So you're getting some unique skins. You're getting the Battle Pass, which I assume would be $10 when you want to play the game, $15 when you want to play the game originally. So and how much things cost in other games, it's not the worst thing in the world. If you don't want to buy it because it's $40 and a lot of money, don't. Overwatch 2 is going to be purely free to play. If you don't want to buy cosmetics, you don't care about cosmetics, you don't care about battle passes, you'll be able to play the game perfectly fine when it comes out. It is a fully free to play game. So don't worry about the price tag too much. Unless you want to play this beta really badly, then go do what I said. So let's talk about the Battle Pass a little bit and sort of the Overwatch content update that's coming through here. Liz made a tweet about it and had the graphics. So this is important to talk about. So when they're free to play, we have this Battle Pass model where you acquire skins. They showed mythic skins. They showed a bunch of really cool things that are going to be showing. If you guys want to see that, there's a bunch of great videos up from other content creators or by Overwatch themselves. But let me sort of highlight and talk to it a little bit. October 4th is the release. We're going to get the 3 new heroes that we've been rumored. Junkerqueen, Sojourn, and then one more Jade Fox hero support that they announced in the thing. So those are the 3 new heroes. We'll get a bunch of new maps, the ones that we've already seen. We get the push game mode. We get 30 plus new skins. And then we get mythic skins. And this will become the beginning of the Overwatch content cycle. And the way that they explained it in the developer update is that everything will then be on a 9-week cycle. So the Overwatch seasons, competitive seasons, and content cycles will be 9 weeks. Every 9 weeks, we'll get a new competitive season. We'll get a new hero and a new map in December 6th. We'll get a bunch of new skins, another mythic skin, and then the Battle Pass. So what's going to happen is that after that, every 9 weeks, we'll get a new hero, then a new map. New hero, 9 weeks, then a new map. 9 weeks, then a new hero. 9 weeks, then a new map. And that'll become the cycle of Overwatch, where we'll get every 9 weeks, we'll get a new map, a new season, a new map or hero, and then a new season, a new battle pass, and all that kind of stuff. And that's how the cycle of Overwatch 2 is going to work. Very similar to how you see in games like Fortnite, Apex Legends, any battle pass model of the content is on a cycle, and that incentivizes people to come back, play the game, get the new stuff, and it'll be cool. Should be regular content. It should be fun. I know a lot of people are upset about this number of only 3 new heroes, only 6 new maps. But as long as they continuously release heroes and maps and that we get a constant stream of updates and content, that's the most important thing in my opinion, rather than the original dropping of Overwatch 2. So you should be excited for me. You should be excited for me. You should be excited for Overwatch 2. I'm excited. We should all be excited. This looks like the best model. Should be good. There's a ton of cross-platform stuff coming on. There's going to be, the beta is going to be on console for this upcoming one. So lots of cool things coming up for Overwatch 2. So that's everything that happened. There's obviously a lot more in-depth stuff, a lot more details, but that's not really what I'm trying to do in this video. That's a quick TLDR. If you want more information on that, it exists on the internet. You'll be able to find it on Twitter, on Reddit, on other people's content. So go check that out. So let's do our power rankings for the week, because we had an interesting weekend of Overwatch League. We saw Sojourn start to take a heavy hand in the meta. Obviously, only the Western teams played. There's a lot of Sigma, double flex support, Zenyatta with the buffs to the 25 extra health, or well, shields, and the kick has made pretty much Zenyatta permanent meta, unless you're a bad team. But for the most part, everyone's been playing Sojourn and Zenyatta, and I would expect to see a lot more of those. And for those reasons, we got a lot of different looks and a lot of different teams moving around. Los Angeles Gladiators, I actually think looked a little weak. They did not look as dominant as they did in the kickoff clash, and I think this tier break needs to move down. I think I'm going to leave Gladiators at number 1 just because they haven't really been tested, and it feels hard to put the San Francisco Shock above them. But I think I want to move, is that a tier break that I'm grabbing? I want to put Atlanta Rain and San Francisco Shock in the same tier as them. I think that these teams have shown the best understanding and adaptability of the meta. They have the players to be able to play the things that are good. Kai on the Atlanta Rain was absolutely sick, but so was, San Francisco Shock able to play this double flex support. Gladiators having, Rhino be able to play everything. It looks good. It looks good. I think with Hawk being able to play the Doomfist and the Sigma as well for Atlanta, I like the way that they're moving around their roster and playing the game. So let's move some people up. So I want to put people up. I think Dallas Duel fallen out of this tier break. I think that they've heavily struggled. I believe they went 0-6 in their matches today. They did lose to San Francisco Shock and the Atlanta Rain. So they didn't lose to bad teams, but they didn't look good while doing it. They looked very lost, very uninformed with how they want to play the game. So for that reason, they're going below the tier break. So we need to move some people up. Houston Outlaws, not Toronto Defiant. Houston Outlaws are going up into the next tier. I probably going to put Houston above Dallas. I think Houston, they were not perfect by any means. No, I'm going to keep them there. No, I'm going to keep them there. I'm going to put Florida Mayhem up into this tier break as well. I think as much as they didn't look perfect and that they struggled from time to time, I like how they're playing the game. And I think they have a good understanding of the meta. And I'm going to put London Spitfire up here. And I'm actually... I'm not high on the Chatty. Here's the thing. It's not just Chatty. It's Poco. Poco Sigma looks really good. Landon on that Zenyatta was fucking pounding. Sparker playing that Sojourn looked to be one of the better Sojourns we saw in the weekend. It's not just the fact that their rush is unbeatable in terms of the mirror and it's impressive. It's the fact that they are not a one-trick team anymore. They're a two-trick team. And I'm okay with it. Until these teams prove to me that they can beat London, I can't do it. I think London would beat all of these teams right now. I'm going to put Houston above Dallas. Just because I think that they're going to be better in this meta. Merritt looked way better when he was on the Sojourn. Like their first match I wasn't in love with, but when Merritt played that Sojourn and pounded, that gives me hope for this team. Plus they have the double flex. In terms of like Lastro, Iris, it should be good. But they were a little lost, so I'm putting London above them. Fuck it. I believe in London Spitfire. Who would have thought that London would be here? Going into the season, Who believed that London would be here? Surely Washington climbs a lot. No. No. I don't think I will. Thank you very much for money. No, 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 no. Calm down. Calm down. I don't think New York Excelsior is worse. Not yet. All right, chat. I'm not going to do a poll, but give me a yay or a nay in chat. Is NYXL last? Is New York Excelsior last? Yay or nay? It's a lot of yays, chat. I think I'm going to put a tier break here. I think Washington has to be... I think Washington has to be at the top of this tier just because they have Happy and Decay. And when they play Kalios, they look good. And it's the same thing as Toronto Defiant, right? Like, Toronto Defiant, both these teams have no right being in this tier. But the only reason these people are in this tier is because they just refuse to play the game properly. Toronto Defiant was the most embarrassing performance, as Johnny said, the most embarrassing performance I've seen in a long time. Did they just close their eyes and just not watch any of the game or not look at the patch notes or just understand that there are any changes? They just like refuse to play the game properly. They just refuse to play Zenyatta. They have Twilight, historically one of the best Zenyatas in the world, and they're just like, no, I don't think we do want to play Twilight on Zenyatta. I think we should play Muse on Winston. And then Boston Uprising. I like the way that they're playing. You know, I'm not in love with the Itzel Ball setup, dive setup, but it's fine. Paris Eternal looked better with Dove and Wub, but I don't think I can move them higher. So I'm happy with where I'm leaving everything. I think this is where I'm going to leave it. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Vancouver Titans did look better. But honestly, it's not a big jump. Boston potentially could have taken a map from San Francisco Shock if they didn't drop the spaghetti. The Eastern region, I'm not going to move that much. Chengdu is going to go above Valiant just because I hate the Valiant because of everything that's going on. And I'm actually going to move Shanghai to number 1. I'm going to move Shanghai to number 1 in the East after seeing the meta play out. Because I think Shanghai is going to be really good in this meta. I think they have all the tools to be a very good team. Izayaki on the Zenyatta. Izayaki on the Zenyatta. Oh, God. My thing went. But that's fine. We'll, I think this is fine. Like, it's not a big thing. I just want to put Shanghai up there. Maybe Philly will be really good in this meta. They have Fury. Yes, they have, MN3 Zest. Yes, they could be really good. But Izayaki on the Zenyatta, Void on the Sigma, Lip on the fucking Sojin is going to be crazy. I feel good about it. They have double flex if they need to play double flex. I just think Shanghai have the meta for this. All right, that's my power rankings. Give me 1 second as I pull up my Pickems. There we go. Let's go into the Pickems. So, Eastern region goes first. So we got Philly versus Valiant. I don't think Valiant is going to be good in this meta. I think Philly is going to pound Los Angeles Valiant. I could be wrong, but I feel good about it. Then Seoul versus Chengdu. I'm putting Seoul's going 3-0 over Chengdu as well. I think like we enter this same issue of like what hero does Jinmu play in this meta? Sombra, dude. If he plays Sombra, it's fucking over. Huh? Jinmu, Sojin, God, no. Leave's gonna play the Sojin. Leave better play the Sojin, otherwise they're fricked. Widow? Widow? So Jinmu grinding Ashe and ranked, he's working on it? You can't work on it and then just expect to beat fucking Prophet and Fitz. I think Hunters take a map. I don't. I think this is going to be two pretty quick games. Philly and Seoul are going to dominate. Jinmu plays Pharah, dude. You would get rolled. All right, let's talk about the Hangzhou Spark versus Guangzhou Charge. Charge is going to get bopped. I think Hangzhou drops a map because they play something weird. Because I don't trust the coaching staff of the Hangzhou Spark to not fuck it up. Seoul Dynasty versus Shanghai Dragons. This is the game that we are foretold. I'm going to go 3-2 to Shanghai because these guys always go to 5 maps. But I think Shanghai has the right meta. Like, they have the right players for this meta. I think that's going to be a banger of a match, though. And then I'm going to go Philly 3-0's Chengdu. I might change this depending on what happens in the first day. And then these ones, this will be a 3-2 Giga batter game, and then Shanghai is going to beat Spark 3-0. I might change these back ones as time goes on, but I like it. I like it. All right, let's look over to the West. Giga batter, yeah. London Spitfire versus New York Excelsior. I think London 3-0's New York Excelsior. I don't think NYXL has shown any ability to deal with anything that London is going to throw at them. I think they'll lose in the Sigma Mirror. I think they'll lose in the Rush. They're actually just going to get bullied. Dallas Fuel versus Florida Mayhem. I'm going for Florida. I'm going to give Dallas a map. No, I'm going to give them 2 maps. I think it's going to be a 5-map banger. Florida versus Dallas. Atlanta Reign versus the Vancouver Titans. 3-1. I think Atlanta drops a map. Just for no reason. They're just going to drop a map and then everyone's going to be like, oh my god, the Titans are doing it. They're finally going to... The Iron Shoulder has led them to success. They took a map off of Reign. Because Reign does seem to like drop maps every now and then to weaker teams. I.e. the Boston Uprising match that they just went to 5 with. Toronto Defiant versus the Washington Justice. I am leaving this one blank. Just like I did in Plat Chat, and I will remain consistent throughout all forms. Plat Chat, I'm leaving blank. Pickems, I'm leaving blank. And when I do the desk prediction, I am leaving them blank. I am not doing this out of spite to both of these teams. I would rather just get it wrong than pick a team. All right, San Francisco Shock versus Atlanta Reign. I think the Shock is going to beat the Atlanta Reign. I'll give Atlanta a map, but I think Shock is just playing with so much confidence right now that I think Atlanta's going to struggle to deal with it. I think Shock is just too dominant, too confident. Like, did you see the Shock bully the Boston Uprising? That wasn't close at all. And I think the Shock have a lot of confidence they should in this meta. They're looking really good. Kilo can play that Sombra. Sojin. Everything is looking for them. Finn's Zen looks great. Violet's able to play the Baptiste. They don't have to play Lucio. I think it looks good. I think Atlanta wins. The Hawk Doomfist could definitely throw a wrench in the Shock, you know, especially if they want to play the Mikey Ball. I don't know how that head-to-head works in this matchup, but we'll find out. Shock has lost to Atlanta before? Yeah, absolutely. Right? Like, Atlanta... Did Atlanta beat Shock? No, Dallas beat Shock in the lower bracket. But yeah. Atlanta's a good team. Yeah, they can definitely do it. I would say these two are on the same level-ish, but I think it's going to be a close one, but Shock's going to win. Dallas versus Vancouver, 3-1. I'm going to give Vancouver another map over Dallas, and then everyone will be like, I told you it wasn't a fluke. We also took a map off of the Dallas Fuel. The Vancouver Titans, they will win a match soon. Atlanta beat Shock in the upper... Oh, that's true. They did beat them in the upper bracket, yeah. So... It'll happen. It can happen. But I think it's a different meta. Remember, like, you know, obviously Kickoff Clash was very recent, but it's a very different meta, so I don't think it's a big deal. Did DP PayPal you too, like you did Johnny? No, as I said, I don't believe in the Vancouver, like, I don't think, even if Vancouver wins a match right now, I think it is too recent of DP coming in to give him all the praise. Right? Like, literally all DP has done so far, which has gotten them over the line, is they look like they're playing the right heroes. Shockwave's playing Sojin. Fucking Aspire's playing Tracer. They're not forcing False to play fucking Winston. They're doing great. Mira's playing the Doomfist. It makes the most sense. Don't force False onto it. Like, they're doing the bare minimum, and it's working. In some capacity. They look somewhat competitive. Good job, DP. He's jumped over the low bar. I want to see him really take this team into a next level though, right? All right, Florida Mayhem versus San Francisco Shock. Shock are going to go 3. Okay, here's the thing. I think Shock is going to, if they win this match against Atlanta, I think Shock is going to come into this Florida match with a ton of confidence and bully Florida. I think Florida's next on the bullying block. Because I think Avar said it on Plat Chat today. My biggest problem with Florida is they have good people in every role, but as soon as they get outmatched in the DPS lineup, which Kilo and Proper will do against Checkmate and Hydron, I think Florida's going to struggle. As soon as they start getting out mechanicked, I don't think they have an answer for it. They have great strategy and they utilize their pieces well, but I'm pretty sure they have a hard cap somewhere, and until they can prove to me that they can best those teams other than just good strategy, then I think they're going to get got. Gladiators versus Houston Outlaws. This could be a close one. The Houston Outlaws, they're in a good meta for them. They have the Dante Doomfist, the Piggy Sig. They got double Flexport with Lasher being able to play the Zenyatta. Merit looked a lot better on the Sojin, but it's the Gladiators, man. And they're going to win 3-1, not 3-2, because if they go to 3-2, if it goes to 2-2, the Gladiators will choke. So I think the Gladiators are just too strong right now. They'll work it out. Paddy Pan on the Sojin. Maybe Arns will play the Sojin. We don't really know who's going to really pick up that one long term. Because I think we saw both of them play it. Did we see Arns Sojin? I don't think we've seen it yet, but I could see him picking it up. But we'll see. Maybe Paddy Pan will play it. They both have great aim. And then you have Kevster to play the Tracer and stuff like that. So Gladiators versus Outlaws. Seems good, man. And then Boston Uprising versus Paris Eternal. I went for Boston on Plat Chat. Something in my heart of hearts says to go for Boston. So I'm going to do it. But it's going to be a map 5 banger. No, it's going to be a 3-1 banger, because if they go to map 5, they're going to put Itzel in and lose. So it has to be 3-1. Boston, all right, here's how this map is going to work, okay? And we're going to review this next week when, get this. Boston Uprising is going to lose the first map with Itzel in on the first map, and then they're going to play Punk for the next 3 maps and win the game. Wait, is it double push week? Is it a double push week? Stop hating on Itzel. It's not hating on Itzel. They're just way worse when he's in the lineup. I don't know. Yeah, I'm actually not sure. It is. All right, Danny, thank you. I appreciate you. So it is double push week. All right, let's go 3-2 then. Boston will win. Yeah, I think this makes sense. Let's do that, because they'll probably play like a Gibraltar or something like that as well. And then Boston will suck. So they'll lose Escort, they'll lose Boston will go up 2-0. Paris will begin a reverse sweep, but then lose on the final push map. That's my take for that series. Thank you for the gift sub to Danny, Azivia. Only in NA. Well, I guess that makes sense because APAC hasn't played yet. All right, those are my pick'ems for the week. I hope you guys appreciate those. I recommend not following me because I have not been doing so well in Pickems lately. So do it at your own risk. But that is it for the weekly recap. I hope you guys found it interesting. There was a lot of shit that went down in terms of the teams, but there was a lot of cool stuff that came out with Overwatch 2. This weekend of matches should be awesome. The beginning of APAC should hopefully see some different looks in the meta, and we'll get to see who's good in that region. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the video, all that good stuff. I got a lot of VOD reviews and more weekly recaps coming your way. Appreciate you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.